Well, that was the moment the meteor hit in the Chelyabinsk region to the east of Moscow. Moments earlier, a car driver with an onboard camera caught these very clear pictures of the meteorite coming in directly ahead of him. The CCTV cameras caught these pictures from above the traffic as the meteorite passed by, the flash from its trail lighting up the whole area. Well, let's cross live to Moscow now, and our Russia correspondent Katie Stallard. Katie, the pictures that we've seen so far, incredibly spectacular, but it must have been quite frightening for the people in the vicinity.
Yeah, people have described initially thinking that this might have been a plane that was crashing, but then realising and trying to comprehend what they were looking at. I mean, you can see from the pictures, it first appears as a small bright light in the sky. It is moving at an incredible speed. It's coming in at a shallow trajectory. It lights up. It takes on the form of a fireball. And people have described feeling a pressure wave as it passed by, hearing explosions overhead. And much of the damage seems to have been done. The injuries seem to have been caused by the explosions that accompanied it. This pressure wave seems to have shattered glass, caused damage to buildings. Now, you're reporting close to 500 injuries. We understand that there are 5 people now considered to be seriously injured. The vast majority here are minor injuries, cuts and bruises due to broken glass. But we understand now the latest is there are 5 people who have been seriously injured and taken to hospital as a result of what they presume is a meteorite strike. We've got a statement from the Ministry of Defence referring to the falling of an unspecified object. They say it is supposedly a meteorite. They are confirming they had no planned missions at the time, that there was no aviation reported in the region. They say they are sending a task force to the suspected strike sites to inspect this object.
And as far as we know, according to the authorities, is that it now? Is everything over? Is it all over, or are there any likely more events to come forward?
Well, we know in a bizarre coincidence there is a large asteroid which is due to pass very close to the Earth's atmosphere tonight. That's being monitored by NASA. It has been being tracked for around a year, and we understand from a space scientist that we spoke to earlier that these two events are not linked, that it is just a coincidence, that there's no reason to suspect that this morning's meteorite shower in Russia is linked to this asteroid near-miss event expected tonight. But it is an extraordinary coincidence, and it will probably not be tremendously reassuring for all of the people in central Russia who saw this. And it was reported, sightings were reported across 6 towns in the region this morning, who saw this bright object falling from the sky and who are now dealing with so many, albeit minor, injuries. It did also cause localised power cuts. The mobile phone network went down, and it was a very shocking event for people in central Russia this morning who took shelter in buildings, who got out of their cars to try and work out what was happening. They will not be tremendously reassured by the news that this is simply a coincidence with the expected event tonight.